Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Lakeburg Legacies. When we left off in the previous episode, we welcomed in a minor and her chancellor. So Cataline Lancelot came into Lakeburg and has established her own household, and she is married to the new chancellor, Drogo. So their match makes me quite happy, especially because as soon as coming in, they decided to adopt Astrid Jameson into the family. Lovely Astrid, who has been out on the streets twice at this point, but finally has found herself like a stable family who is going to be around for a long time because they're very, very young. They're like in their early 20s. So I'm really happy for Astrid. Now, Cataline also, for the first time since Beatrice's death, is a villager who is genetically beautiful. So that means that in terms of Lakeburg beauty standards, right? Lakeburg beauty standards, Cataline is the most beautiful villager we have in Lakeburg, in the kingdom. And so I think everyone's moods, in my opinion, would just lift with her arrival, because they would be looking at her in the streets, they'd be staring at her, everyone would be talking about her and how lovely she is. And I think Drogo would feel a little bit lucky that he managed to snag such a lovely wife. So things are looking good. And I also in the last episode got very, very distracted by life expectancy, because I just for the first time after like all these episodes realized that there's a candle next to their age, and the candle gives us some indication about, where they are at in their lives. And then we started going through all the villages in more detail, and I learned some things, and now I cannot unlearn them. Now I'm like overly conscious of everyone and how long they have to live. But it was amazing. It was amazing. It was something about the game that I had completely overlooked, but only just managed to, discover. So that was kind of cool. And we learned that, as such, Marie is probably going to reach her 80s, our baker, who's 72 years old, but still has plenty of juice left inside. Marie is going to live a long and fruitful life, and I'm kind of happy for her. And you know what? I am glad that I learned about the ages, because even though I feel kind of sad for some of our younger folk who have really short candles and bright flames, like intense flames, now I know that for certain like older couples, I don't have to worry, because they're going to be stable. And this is going to help out, especially when we have like orphans that are adopted into families. I can now look at their parents' candles and be like, hey, this is a stable family, this is an unstable family. So with, for example, the Lancelot family, I cannot say it's entirely stable. You know what? Families where the wife has the yellow flame, that's an extremely stable family to be in. So Mirabelle's future is the perfection at this point, because her mother has a long life. This family is going to be stable. This also is stability for their husbands. You think about it. If the women are the only ones who can own property, to have a wife with a long life is going to ensure you live very comfortably. So Emmerich and Mirabelle don't have to, unless Emmerich divorces, like he doesn't have to worry about losing his home. And the children in these type of families are going to grow up very safe and never going to have to worry about being out on the street. So Mirabelle's going to be like A-okay. Who else do we have that has any other females with long lives? Are you kidding? Oh, Dora. So the Stark family is extremely stable. If Nathan doesn't leave his wife, he is going to live very comfortably, and little baby Hermione is also going to live very, very comfortably. She's never going to have to worry about being out on the streets. So that's kind of nice. But now that I know that, I feel a lot more secure, because I have an understanding. Like beforehand, I would have been freaking out over Mirabelle because, Marie is old, Emmerich's old. But now that I am aware of how that works, no, I know that Mirabelle is going to have a very stable life. Okay, well, I have already gone ahead and had a look at the necessary actions. There's no one that I can help at this point in time. So all we have to do is basically get time going and see what everyone gets up to. Let the people more or less handle themselves. And oh Malus Clark has just passed away, our mason, at 39 years old. Okay. And then Oriana and Calanth have met each other and they kind of get along. Now, are they similar in age? I don't think so. I feel like Oriana is quite a bit older than... Where is she? Where is she? She's quite a bit older than Calanth. Calanth is 19. Oriana is 37. Yeah, there's a huge age gap between them, but it's kind of nice to see that she gets along with her. And actually, I forgot this for a second, even though it's not tracked in Wolfgang's relationships. I mean, we're kind of lucky that he befriended her, because in like over here in the inheritance page it's not tracked, but Oriana and her husband actually took Wolfgang in when he was out on the street, like his final year of being a teenager. He found a home with his adoptive parents, Oriana and Crispin. So I kind of like the fact that since, you know, he managed to befriend his adoptive mother while he was living with her, now his wife Calanth, you know, she is trying to also build some sort of a relationship with Wolfgang's adoptive mother. That actually makes me very happy. That makes me very happy. She's trying to understand from his point of view, and it seems as though they do like each other. They've made a good impression on each other. Look, she has good affinity with Oriana. They're at 73%. I love that. So Oriana thinks that, you know, her adoptive son's childhood sweetheart is a very, very suitable person for him. And likewise, Calanth understands why Wolfgang would have become friends with his mother, Oriana. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. Yes. Also, who was the kid of our prankster? Did we lose a prankster? Oh, the prank shop closed. Yeah, because I was so confused because I was looking at Oriana and she's unemployed and I was like, hold on a second. Isn't Oriana, like, doesn't she work at the prank shop? Well, I think because our population just dipped because of the death, like the deaths we had, or the one death. Population dipped. The prank shop has closed, yeah, because you have to have 35 people in the village for the prank shop to be open. So his mother just lost her job at the prank shop. Now, does she have anywhere else that she would like to work? Seamstress? Seamstress. Okay, you know what? She, unlike, where's our carpenter? So Helios actually got kicked out of the rodent nest like twice before he decided that was too unstable and he was going to become a carpenter. But unlike him, I don't think Oriana is going to wait around for the prank shop to open up again. She has, you know, tried that once, but it is unstable. I think she wants a bit more stability. So actually, she wants to be a seamster. She is going to take up a job at the sewing workshop. And I kind of like the idea that Calanth is the one that hooked her up with the job at the sewing workshop. So actually, that makes me really happy. They were just talking. And I think maybe Wolfgang mentioned to Calanth that his mother, like adoptive mother, just recently lost her job, and Calanth wanted to use this opportunity to get to know her, and she kind of liked her, and she thought, you know what, we have a vacancy at the sewing workshop, why don't you just come and work here with us? And so Oriana has now joined them at the sewing workshop, which makes me very, very happy, and the ambience is good. Look at that, everyone loves working with each other, which is excellent. But it seems as though we do not have enough leather. We do not have enough leather. And so unfortunately, our sewing workshop has now entered the same situation as the bakery and the carpenter's workshop, where everyone, their like work has stopped. Things have become stagnated because we don't have enough leather. We literally are relying on one hunter, just Crispin, to get things going. Literally. Oriana's husband Crispin is trying like on his own to keep two industries going. Well, three, you know, the hunter's cabin, but the sewing workshop and the carpenter's workshop that rely on him. Unfortunately, it is a lot of work for someone to do on their own, but he is trying. Regardless, at least Oriana has like a stable job now, so that makes me happy. Like the kingdom is still going to pay her. I imagine, for, you know, working the sewing, things have stagnated a little bit. So okay, that's actually pretty good, guys. That's pretty good. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. See what else. Oh wait, we have. Oh right. Okay, so Bruce actually is about to become homeless. Bruce is about to become homeless because his wife just died. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bruce. I'm sorry, Bruce. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. See what else is happening in town. And Kristoff just died. The Mason just died. This is not a surprise to me because last episode when we were checking on the lifespans, Kristoff didn't have a lot left. Oh my goodness. But guys, we can build. We can build. We can flip and build. Okay, hold on a second. Godric and Calanth have met. Oh no. Godric and Calanth do not get along well with each other. I suppose up till this point they've been staying out of each other's way. Hold on a second. Calanth, are you? She does not like Godric. And Kristoff was her father. Oh yikes. Yeah, she's not too fond of Godric. Their relationship's at like 44%. Maybe they just haven't kind of, you know, they haven't had to cross paths. They've been like sitting in their own corners of the sewing workshop. But I suppose because the actual work they have has been very slow, maybe they've butted heads over something, and yeah, that's not good. That's not good. But okay, we can build the jeweler's workshop. Heck yeah, let's go do that. And this is important because once we have the jeweler's workshop, if we can get a jeweler, we'll be able to maybe make the church. Because we have everything except for like the jewelry. But we're gonna build a jeweler's workshop. Okay, we have the jeweler's workshop. Excellent. And now I'm kind of curious to see if anyone wanted to work as a jeweler. Let's take a look, guys. Effie, no. Mabel, nope. Wolfgang, no. See, he wants to be a priest, but we need jewelry to make a church. Astrid, you still want to be a farmer, farming apprentice, but we only have, I think, one farmer, which is a bit rough. Yeah, okay, so I can't help anyone right now, so we'll just keep going. We'll just keep chugging along. See what else everyone gets up to. Oh, Gluttony. Oh. Willing to impress Emmerich. Drogo would like to participate in something important, an event that would show him at his best and showcase his quality. Are you kidding me? The 23-year-old Chancellor wants to impress the 56-year-old baker? I mean, okay. Let's see. Lakeburg's biggest eater contest is the perfect opportunity to get noticed, well, if you manage not to be sick. So he is going to go ahead, participate in this, only listening to his heart and stomach. Drogo sat at the table with the village's most famous gluttons and ate all he could. Drogo stood his ground, staring at Emmerich, who had come to watch the competition. After several hours of gluttony, Drogo won the contest, and Emmerich's admiration. Wait, what? This is the first time I have had the food contest come up and someone not throw up. Every single other time they have thrown up. But I guess Drogo is made of sterner stuff. Oh! I was not expecting that, because this has never worked out. This has never actually worked out, so I never knew this could happen. Apparently, because he succeeded, Drogo and Emmerich are going to have their first kiss, and Drogo is going to get the glutton trait. Are you kidding me? I thought Drogo was in a stable relationship with his minor wife, but no, guys, no, he and Emmerich are having a bit of an affair. And Emmerich, the baker, who has recently gotten married to Marie, I mean, okay, live life on the edge. Well, guys, those two have had their first kiss. That's right. That's right. Now there's a bit of an affair going on between Drogo and Emmerich. You kidding me? Yeah. He's got a 78% relationship with Emmerich. So he has a good thing going with his wife. But look at where he works, at the Chancellery in the castle. The bakery is way closer to him than the mine. So he and his wife probably spend a lot of time apart. And whereas, for some of the other jobs, I imagine at the end of the day, they go back home. I feel like at the chancellery, like anyone who works at the castle, in my head, I have the idea that they're probably kind of quarters they have in the castle, and they stay a few nights in the castle, and then, for like half the week, they kind of go back home. But usually it's like split. Basically, their living is split between the quarters at the castle and the home they have in town. Is kind of how I imagine the treasurers and the chancellors, because they would be needed here for important work. So they kind of spend more time here than they do in the village. And the commute would be pretty, like, if you had to commute every single day from your house in town to the castle, then you wouldn't be spending too many hours at the castle working, because you have to take into account the commute you have. So for that reason, I imagine that he kind of spends half the week at the castle, the other half in town. Or maybe like he spends a night at home, but then he goes to the castle a couple of nights and then it comes back home a night, something like that. And so I can kind of imagine maybe why perhaps Emmerich is or has been kind of delivering some of the baked goods to the castle. And he and Drogo kind of got the opportunity to have a bit of a tryst. Okay. So yeah, there is that. And then Eloise and Nathan are feeling inspired. Yeah, they're feeling inspired. Those two have a really good relationship, so it's really no surprise for the two of them. Okay, let's keep going. See what else is happening in town. Oh, Alana and Randall are getting divorced, guys. Yikes. Okay, so that did not pan out too well for them. And Alana, do you have any history with Bruce? She does not. Okay, well, guys, I mean, she's 29, he's 30. The Carpenters actually work relatively close to the castle. So in a similar situation to maybe Drogo, let's see, Alana is gonna ask Bruce out on a date, and we'll see how that goes. So okay, let's ask Bruce out. Okay, they have bad affinity because we do have Bruce and Alana being like widowed and heartbroken or divorced. But let's see how this goes. They do agree on feasting at least. Okay, so we're starting off at the inn. We could talk about attending a public execution, or we could denigrate Lakeburg's baker. We'll go with the baker. Bruce thought about inviting Alana to share some delicious gingerbread. Never mind, it's her loss. Okay, now we're at the Hill by Moonlight. We can recite a poem or talk about good food. We'll talk about good food. Let good digestion wait on appetite. Alana and Bruce share the same taste in terms of good food. So it seems as though they're going to be in a loveless marriage, but it is convenient at this point. Bruce is no longer living out on the streets. Alana has some company. We'll see how they do. But yeah, it's a loveless marriage. And in terms of Alana, you're in the Coldwell family, aren't you? Okay, oh, that's right. She has Cecilia. She and her husband adopted Cecilia. So they're not going to have a kid anytime soon. They have a 6% chance. I mean, Cecilia only has 2 more years before she kind of leaves and establishes her own family, so they wouldn't have to wait that long. Okay, now Randall is homeless. He's either at the pleasure house or is out on the streets. I'm sorry, Randall. And guys, looking at our resources, in terms of what I think the kingdom really needs, I feel like at this point the kingdom needs a jeweler. We need, I would say more carpenters, but I think actually we need more hunters. We need more hunters because without hunters, we don't have the leather to be able to, carpent anything. So yeah, we need jewelers, we need hunters, and we also need farmers. I feel like that's kind of really what's required. that's what's required in the kingdom at this point. But okay, guys. Hopefully we're able to make a little bit more progress next time, but it is the year 55. My goodness, we have gotten to year 55 in Lakeburg. And after these decades, I feel like we've had the castle for a couple decades now. We still have not managed to find ourselves a queen, an ideal queen who can take up the throne. But it would be nice if I could get it done within this season. That would be lovely. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.